They're gonna start talking now, I guess.
All right, once again, my name is Rick Miles. I work for the Walkaway campaign.
Are we doing
Just have to do this quick disclaimer.
This is actually a
The
video.
Walkaway Foundation, which is a 501c3, does not support
Free your mind show. Where you guys from?
How can you be a Christian and be against and be for abortion? That's what I want to know. They're flying that thing around all these days.
Where you guys from?
We're from Indiana.
All
From
right.
Milwaukee.
From Milwaukee?
Oh, so you're local.
Yes.
So what are you guys doing here?
Local.
And you know what? People told me not to wear my Trump hat today because I might get beat up. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to let those bastards win. I'm going to wear my Trump hat and let the chips fall when they bang.
Well, welcome to Milwaukee, first of all.
Thank you. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah! Oh, yeah, that'll be on CNN.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's like, did you see the other night?
The founder of the Walkaway campaign started this when he came to realization that he needed to walk away. Let's just all chant walk away. You ready?
Walk away! Walk away! Walk away! Walk away! Walk away! Walk away!
Brandon Strzok, everybody.
What's up, Wisconsin? Yes! You don't understand. It's so important that I come out and I film you guys every time because the media, they're going to say, oh, 10 people came. They didn't even mean to be there. They were just 10 people who wandered into the park. Thank you all so much for coming out to rescue America! Yes! This is fantastic. I cannot tell you. A lot of you probably know who follow my videos and follow what we're doing here with Rescue America. I get really upset when we do these and people don't come out. They don't show up to fight for America. And I got a little nervous yesterday. I got a little nervous because I was in Green Bay. Thank you. Get up here and give me a hug right now. You. Get up here. Both of you. Get up here. I saw these ladies yesterday. Anybody who tells me they're going to come the next day and then they do gets a hug. Thank you. I was in Green Bay, Wisconsin yesterday to do CPAC, Wisconsin, and I gave a speech talking about how important it is for us to show up, how important it is for us to fight for this country, and that I know that, you know, we do these events on the weekends, and a lot of people feel like, well, that's my private time, that's my time with my kids, my time with my grandkids, I gotta weed my garden, I gotta do all this other stuff. And I said, you guys, listen, it's so important that we stand up and we fight for the country. And everyone got really excited yesterday. And then they stood up and they started cheering. And then afterwards, all these people came up to me and they said, well, my husband and I have something going on tomorrow, so we're probably not gonna make it. But whatever, and I was like, oh my God. Am I gonna be talking to nobody tomorrow? But you showed up! We have an amazing rally planned for you today. We have amazing speakers. Who knows Shaq Posobiec from OAN? Yes?
I've probably seen him.
OAN, one of the greatest news sources you can be paying attention to right now if you are conservative-minded, if you're on that side of the aisle. They do stories that you're never going to hear about if you're watching anything in the middle or on the left. They're fair, they're balanced, and Jack is a good friend and a great reporter. So happy to have him here today. We have Mikey Harlow, Carlin Borisenko, Shamika Michelle, and many others. And many others. So, am I getting kicked off the stage by my, what? No. So listen, we'll get things kicked off for you today. I just want to reiterate one more thing, the reason why it's so important that you guys come out, the reason why we're doing this in general. We have watched the radical left for years take over every aspect of our culture here in America. They have taken over the entertainment industry. They have taken over academia. They have taken over the news media. They have taken over social media. Basically, everything that has to do with our way of life, the left has been allowed to take over and control the narrative. And they are liars, they are dividers, and they are deceivers. And it is time that we take our country back from the radical left. Even worse, I think, listen, I talk to people all the time because of my position in the walkaway campaign, walkaway movement. I hear from people who are in their 60s, in their 70s, in their 80s, who tell me they have never in their lifetimes seen anything like what we've seen this year in this country. I'm not just talking about the shutdown. I'm not just talking about government overreach and telling you that you have to close your businesses, that you can't go back to work, and the politicization of a virus, which is actually not very dangerous to the vast majority of people in this country. But I'm talking about at the end of May, when a man was killed by a police officer, and we all watched together, and we all got a pit in our stomachs, realizing that something wrong had happened, something very bad had happened. We were all on the same page with that. But then suddenly, a group called Black Lives Matter took complete control of the narrative, and their narrative was enabled and glorified by the Democratic Party and by the liberal media in this country. And very, very quickly, it became somehow consequence-free to go out by the thousands, by the tens of thousands, smash windows, burn buildings, loot, steal, beat people, kill people, and all of it was excused by the liberal media. And now suddenly we're talking about defunding police officers in this country. It's insanity. And I watch this day after day after day on my television set, on my social media, and I ask myself, like I'm sure many of you did too, is anybody going to do anything about this? Why is this allowed to keep happening every day after day? Who is going to stop in and tell these people no? We are. We are. And that's why we're here today. That is why it is so important to show up to rescue America. We are the people, and this is the movement that is going to stand up, and we are going to grow and grow and grow week after week after week. We are the people who are going to stand up and tell the radical left, no, you do not have permission to destroy this country. You do not. Because we love America.
Jack Posobiec.
You know, I always wanted to say this, but hello, Milwaukee! That absolutely lived up to it. I want to do that again. Hello, Milwaukee! I'm like Alice Cooper up here, right? I don't know, does Alice Cooper still play Milwaukee? I don't know. He should if he doesn't. If you haven't seen it, he's got to come back. If he doesn't, he's got to come back. But did I hear there's some veterans in the area? Well, even if there are, you're not a veteran. You might see a veteran, you might know a veteran. Can we get a round of applause for our veterans out there? God bless our veterans. Thank you. If we're going to take this country back, if we're going to lead this country forward, and if we are going to rescue America, we know it's going to be veterans standing up. We know it's going to be veterans because veterans, when they joined, they felt the call to service. I see a gentleman here with the DD-214 right there. I got mine too. A DD-214, that means you are a veteran. That means you put your hand up and you signed a blank check to your country, payable in full if need be. That's what veterans do. And not only veterans do that, but our law enforcement and our first responders. And I see law enforcement here today. Can we get a round of applause for the people that are here today, keeping us safe, making sure everything goes on okay, giving us the ability to exercise our First Amendment rights. Our rights to freedom of speech and to peaceably assemble. This is a peaceful assembly. This is a little bit different. You know, folks, I'll tell you from a personal perspective. I was in Seattle, so I worked for One American News, and they sent me, and for 3 days, 3 nights, I went undercover in a place called the Chaz. You guys hear about the Chaz? What they did in Seattle, what this mayor, Jenny Durkin, did, and it's continuing what she's done, her reign over there. She ordered that police officers of the East Precinct of Seattle stand down and abandon their post in that East Precinct, and she turned it over to radicals, to militants, and to anarchists. And for about 30 days, this went on. And see, the media played this game, and this is where standing up for the truth is so important. I saw somebody with a sign about the truth. There it is, right there. The further a society drifts from the truth, the more they will hate those who speak it. Isn't that true? Isn't that right? In times of great dishonesty, standing up for the truth is a revolutionary act. And so what the media would do is, and I wish it had ended there. I wish it had ended, and I wish it had shut down earlier, but there were 4 people shot there. There were 2 people killed there. We said what was going to happen, but then, what did they do? The City Council of Seattle ordered their police chief, Carmen Best. Have you seen this Carmen Best, the chief out there in Seattle? Can we get a round of applause for her? What an amazing woman. What an absolute patriot. What a great American Carmen Best is. And so for anyone who doesn't know the story, Carmen Best is no longer the police chief of Seattle. And she's the first African American and woman to become police chief out there in Seattle. And what she did, they came to her and they said, we're going to cut your budget. And we're going to need you to take a pay cut. But even more than that, we need you to lay off and fire 100 officers. And you have to choose who gets fired. She put in her resignation papers the next day. She said, and so at One American News, that's what we try to do. We try to put together our own stories, and we try to have conversations about actually going across and having a dialogue with people that maybe we thought we might disagree with, but when you actually sit down at the table, you find that you all want, at the end of the day, the same stuff. We want safe communities. We want safe streets. We want safe churches and houses of worship. Isn't it amazing, by the way, that being a believer now is counterculture? Being a believer, if you're someone who believes in God Almighty, right, then you're like a rebel now. Isn't that amazing? I kind of like it. You know, I'm Christian. That's where we started, baby. We were always rebels. They didn't like Jesus to begin with. You saw what they did to him, but he didn't quit. And then the apostles didn't quit, and they kept going, and they kept it all going, and it's still going here 2,000 years later, and the society has changed. And Christ told us that would happen. He said, they will hate you for following me. They will attack you for following me. But blessed are you who are attacked and spit on in my name. That's what Jesus said. He said that 2,000 years ago, and he was right. He was absolutely right. And so if I could, and I really do love about this event, is that there's so many people here from, now are you guys mostly Milwaukee or Wisconsin? You're from the area? I actually was out here back in February, and the president was having a rally, and I was out here, I got to cover it. That was my first time in Milwaukee. And my wife didn't come at that time, and I said, sweetheart, we're going back. And she said, why? I said, well, mainly it's the cheese curds. I'm not even joking, it was so good. But no, I loved look, I'm an East Coast guy, right? I'm from Philadelphia, I live in Washington, D.C. right now. But when you get out to the Midwest, when you get out to the heartland, when you get out to the places of this country where, the more time that I can spend out there and that I don't have to spend in the swamp, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. All right. Well, folks, that is just about it for myself. If I'm going to hang around afterwards, I've got until 5:15 apparently, but I am from One American News. I certainly love if you guys are watching. Any One American News fans out there? Oh, all right, I love it. Thank you so much for watching OAN. Please continue. If you have any questions, we'll be hanging out afterwards. We can take pictures. We can do all that. If you ever want some secret scoops on what's going on in the White House, we might have a little bit of that as well. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for taking part. I'm so glad. And thank you to Brandon Strock for putting all this together, the walkaway movement. Rescue America. God bless every single one of you, and God bless the United States of America.
Shamika Michelle is the author of Keep It Naked, a naked girl's guide to live life can't even speak. She's a speaker and personal empowerment advocate, a dedicated daughter, a friend, a mother of 3 daughters. My personal favorite, Walkway doesn't have favorites, never mind, you didn't hear that. Shamika Michelle.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shlemiel, Shlemazel, Heights and Fiber Incorporated. Thank you for having me, Milwaukee. This is so great. Last weekend I got to speak in Los Angeles with Scott Baio, and now I'm here in the city where they did the Happy Days spinoff, and I'm just so excited. I'm Shamika Michelle, and I just found out Wednesday night that I was going to be able to make it here. And I was so stressed. I was frazzled, my nerves were frazzled, and I said, what am I going to say? Because I want to give something fresh to the people. You know, I believe we need to rescue America, and so I just was nervous, and I'm like, I only have 2 days to prepare. What am I going to do? And then the Democrats saved me. I know, you know, we are walk away, and we talk about walking away from the Democrats, but they rescued me. And I realized that I didn't have to prepare anything for you, because all I have to do, according to the Democrats, is be a black woman. You know, and as soon as I get back, I'm going to talk to my mother, because I have a bone to pick with her. I have a bone to pick with her because she always told me that I needed to bring something to the table. I have a bone to pick with her because she told me that I always needed to do my best, give my best, work hard. And now, to find out that I only have to be black, I could have saved myself a lot of time. I could have saved myself a lot of heartache, knowing that my gender is all I needed. So when I get home, and Mom, you're on notice, we're going to have a long talk. All of my teachers who didn't give me an excuse to fail, we're going to have a long talk. Because I don't need to do anything. And that is why I decided to walk away from the Democrats. Thankfully, I was smart enough to know that it's about what I can bring to the table and not the color of my skin. See, the Democrats think that I'm too stupid and that I'm too dumb to actually talk about policies. That's why all they have is race. Have you noticed that? That's the only thing the Democrats have. And I feel so sorry for all of the people who knew they did not stand a chance to get chosen as the VP choice because of the color of their skin. I thought we were supposed to be judged by the content of our character. I thought that's what we were going for in America. You know, I've been told this week has been really tough because as someone who has walked away and someone that supports Donald Trump, I'm told that I am a sellout, that I'm a coon. Thank you. Because I want to use my brain and I want to think about things that are important to me. See, I have 3 daughters who all went to public charter schools because I didn't think the traditional schools would give them the education that I wanted them to have. So pardon me if I decide to choose my candidate based on values that are best for me and my children. Pardon me if I think I should have the right and the freedom of speech. Pardon me. Pardon me if I feel like that I should have the right to bear arms. Pardon me. Pardon me if I feel like I should have the freedom of religion in this country. So to the Democrats that feel like I should not have those rights because I'm black, to the Democrats that feel like I should not have those rights, as Joe Biden said, we are not diverse. I want to tell the Democrats that I am a black woman. However, I'm a black woman that has my own mind. And I'm a black woman that's not afraid to stand in their face and say, give me something more than color. Give me something more than gender. Because if it was just about my color, if it was just about my gender, if all I needed was a vagina, I could be a prostitute. Policy. Think about your family. Think about your community. Think about your friends. And if the people you are voting for does not stand along with your values, don't vote for them just because you're black. It is time as a nation for us to come together. It is time for us to stop being divided by things that really don't matter. Now, granted, my skin is very chocolatey and beautiful now, and I love it. But I don't hate anybody who doesn't have my skin color, and that's what they're pushing. They want us to hate each other. They want us arguing. They want us not being able to get along for trivial and small minor things. We have to stand together. And it starts now. We have to rescue America. Not just for us, but for our children and for our children's children. It's important. So, I'm sorry, Kamala, whatever you decide you want your name to be, this time, because we know she didn't run as a black woman for the Senate. She only uses it when it's convenient for her. And I'm sorry, but there's no way that a black woman dances the way that she did on the video. But I won't be voting for Joe Biden, Jim Crow Joe. No, I won't. And the fact that they thought black people were so unintelligent that they could use a black woman as a token does not sit well with me. So on November 3rd, I will be voting for Donald J. Trump. And I will continue to stand for this country as we rescue America. Thank you.